Okay, this will be a demonstration of the Quickdraw weaving program in response to a drafting class that Judy Ito had put onto the weaving software webpage. So this was the outline of what you're supposed to do on the left here, and then I'm going to walk through with Quickdraw how to do that. First thing I want to add a color palette which has the blue and gray in it, and the pattern names, the number of shafts, and that kind of thing. So I go to the project setup. In this particular case, I already have 4 shafts and 6 treadles set. So when I select those guys, I'm going to add pattern notes. I can now type in Rose Valley Davidson and use Tabby. Once I've got those typed in, and close the notes section, so that'll be stored into the file. And when I go into more, for example, if I want to clear the palette, I have 2 colors. Now she's using a blue and a gray, so I'm going to add, kind of a mid-gray from over here. I'm going to replace the lighter color with that, and then I'm going to use a little bit darker blue and replace the black with that. So I've now got a blue and gray color palette. So now when I go back in, I can see I've actually got the warp and the weft characters set up, and I've got a template that's about the same here. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go through, and it wants a gray warp, so I drag the gray to the warp, and when I go to weft, I tell it I want the blue weft, and so I've now got the basic setup. And now what she's asked me to do is use the keyboard. Now normally I can go in and just click to tell it the pattern I want. In this particular case, she's saying use the keyboard entries, so what I'm going to do is click over to the first thread, and I'm going to type the keys, and you're not going to see those get typed, but you'll see the threads appear. The nice thing about that, and move over here, the mouse over here so we can see what I'm looking at. Now I can focus my attention over here, and it will type into the other window. And I haven't clicked, I'm just selecting that area. So the threading sequence is 4 3 4 3 2 3 2 3 4 3 2 3 2 3 4 3 4 1 2 1. I've now got the threading sequence in place. Let me use the weft first. Same thing, I select the mouse into the weft editor. The weft sequence is 4 4 1 1 4 1 1 4 4 3 3 2 2 4 4 1 1 4 1 1 4 4 3 3 2 2. So I now have that in. Now you notice I don't have a pattern because I don't have a tie-up yet. And I deliberately cleared the tie-up since we started because my default would have been that same tie-up. So I want, on treadle 1, I want shafts 1 and 2. Treadle 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4, 1, and I can actually see the pattern forming here. And 1 and 3, 2 and 4 on the tie-up. So at this point I've now actually got the same pattern here that we have over here. And you'll notice I've got the yellow warning marks. That's basically saying anytime I duplicate the same thread, that's not something normal I'd want to do. Really here, that's a flag that says I need to use the tabby as indicated. And I'll talk about adding the tabby to it in a few minutes to actually make it a project. So I've now looked over here. I've typed in the threading, if you have software, and saved the file, and Quickdraw gives you full capability to save that file. So I'm going to save that as lesson 1. So I've done that, what that's talking about. In Fabric, you'll not see the numbers. Okay, well in this particular case, as I scroll in a little bit more, it will actually give me the thread numbers across the top, and as well as which treadle to press on the side. Now how to change the draft from a threading to tie-up. I'll go back into the project setup. If I can do tie-up to lift plan, when I go back, I've now got a lift plan. You'll notice the pattern's exactly the same. Now let me go back and convert the lift plan back to a tie-up. So it's now converted that back. But you'll notice 2 things have happened. One is it's rearranged the treadles, and number 2, it's figured out it only needs 4 treadles for that. So as I zoom in here a little bit, I can rearrange these back into the order they were originally in. So when I drag, I'm just rearranging those treadles. Now, if I want to actually turn that into a finished product, at the weft button, I can add the tabby, which it allocated, and it's going to add the tabby threads in the same color as the warp, and it's going to actually draw them smaller. And I can change that if I want to. I can just click the thread size, and it'll all change to the larger thread size. Now I have a project I can actually weave, and if I want to look at the ways to view the drawdown, got a couple of choices. If I hide that editor, I can just see that in the edit. I can also go to the thread view. I can zoom in. I'm using the mouse scroll wheel. If I use the buttons that you can see what's going on, I can shrink it down, actually get a good idea what that pattern's going to look like. Those are the main view controls. And okay, that gives me a basic pattern. Now if I actually wanted to go weave that, since I actually now have all the warp threads, the weft threads identified, if I go back over here, it can tell me how many heddles on each shaft, how many threads. So it's going to tell me the warp is all, is how many threads I've got got on the same color, and it's going to tell me the weft, how many threads on each color. If I want to, I can copy that to the clipboard, and Quickdraw has the capability of pasting that information. What I'm going to then do is a Control-V to paste that information. So it's now pasted the warp and weft information into a template. I can use that to figure out exactly how much material I'd need. When I get ready to actually weave it, I can ask for loom help. It will give me in a verbal interface the threading sequence. So as you're sitting focusing on the loom, it will tell you by a voice interface which threads are next. When you get ready to do the tie-up, it can also assist you. Depending upon your loom, the tie-up may be harder to do. If I look at the weft, it will actually give me weft shot by weft shot, which shot, what color, and it actually can do an interface to Adobe. So that's where all Quickdraw can deal with those functions. Now, next question, if you have questions. Easiest place is probably to go to the Quickdraw Weaving Facebook page and post the questions there. I'd use that to track any progress updates. People have questions, that's an easy way to handle that. That gives me an overview of how to do the first drafting class. Thank you.